The line in the sand has been drawn. The Hinamizawa School versus Child Welfare Services. Operation Save Satoko starts now. Hi everyone, I'm Shaggy, and I'm here to guide new fans on this strange trip that is Higurashi Go. This is part 3 of the curse deceiving chapter, and the curse mentioned, unfortunately, isn't Oyashiro-sama's curse, but is instead the curse of Hojo Teppei on his niece Satoko, everyone's favorite trap master and pain in the butt. This episode picked up right where the last one left off, with Satoko having what appears to be a PTSD attack in the classroom. Teppei has clearly messed her up a lot, and all her classmates can do is watch. Keiji tries to help, but Reina has to tell him to back away, that he just can't do anything right now. Everyone hates what's happening, and even when Chie-sensei enters the room, no one can speak up and tell the truth. Satoko waves everything away and pretends it didn't happen. This is something that happens in these types of situations. A victim will often deny that the abuse exists and refuses to reach out for help. It's a complicated thing. A victim can lose all trust in others because of what they've suffered from one person, and not expect anybody to help, even if they tell the truth. Also, a victim may have very low self-esteem because of the abuse and think that they somehow deserve it, or don't deserve to be helped. It's very sad, and this is what's happening with Satoko. She doesn't admit how bad things are, or look to her friends or any adults for help. She just accepts it as life, something no one can change. Rika even stops Satoko as she's going home from school, and tells her to come back home with her. But Satoko says she's living with her uncle now. Rika points out that Satoko doesn't want to live with him, but Satoko's response sums up her entire experience. There is nothing I can do about it. But Keiji isn't having it. The abuse has to be stopped, and he is going to fight tooth and nail to get it done. But things have to be done by the book. Child welfare is the only group that can protect Satoko from Teppei. But why? As Shion says when she appears, it would be better to just kill Teppei and ensure Satoko's safety. But that wouldn't bring back everyone's happy days, Keiji says. Yes, Satoko would be safe from harm, but she would harbor guilt for the rest of her life that someone killed him for her. That person's life would be over too, in addition to Teppei's. If Shion murdered him, she'd go to jail. And while Satoko probably wouldn't care about Teppei having died, who would mourn that bastard? She would hate that Shion would be in jail, because of her. Satoko would be racked with shame constantly. This is an incredibly astute observation from Keiji, and Rika tells him so. People cannot live without hope, she says, and it's clear that he knows that there still is hope. A far cry from the Rika that chewed him out for going into the Furude storehouse. Breaking the law isn't an option, because the goal isn't just to save Satoko from the present danger, it's to get back to what they used to have, the peaceful world where they played games and enjoyed themselves. The gang has to work within the framework of the world. Or, to put it one way, they have to play the game by the rules. This episode showed us that all the club rules mentioned previously can have practical applications. Always strive for victory with everything you've got. In other words, don't give up. Don't feel like it's hopeless. Even if you have to do unorthodox things to win, as long as you don't break the rules, you can still come out on top. You must partake in every game and enjoy it without question. You don't get to choose the challenges life presents you with, and you always have to be willing to fight to get what you want. Being mopey will just lead to you being defeated. So be energetic. That's the only way you'll be able to give it your all. Keiji even tells everyone that when they're feeling hopeless. If this were a club game, you'd all be losing. And that wakes them up. They can't give up. They can't give in. They have to keep fighting. If everyone works together, they can make a miracle happen. Keiji, Reina, Mion, Shion, and Rika together weren't able to budge CWS, Child Welfare Services. So they enlist the class as a whole, including Chie. At this point, Rika says something very telling. I have no power, so I can't do anything without help. She may be talking about the time loops. She's given Keiichi advice before and it's helped things to some extent, but still, people died and those worlds ended up as dead ends. Even with her knowledge of past events, she can't make anything happen because of her powerlessness. But more than that, I think her statement reflects life and tough situations like this one with Satoko. Often, extreme struggles are impossible to overcome alone. We need to rely on others, get their help, to survive. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how people work. We're social animals, and not just because we need to talk to others and socialize. We need to work together, trust each other, and live with one another. Maybe the only way to get a good outcome in these loops is to put that into practice and have every member of the group trust every other member, and work together to face whatever miserable things may happen. The entire class, with Chie, goes to CWS and pleads their case, but still, the organization doesn't listen. Or they may be listening, but they're sitting on their hands and not doing anything. Perhaps this is bureaucracy. Nothing can be done without definitive evidence. But it's not right. They should bust into the house and put pressure on Teppei, give Satoko a thorough examination. But telling them that, even if it's coming from 20 people, isn't enough to make them move. So the gang doubles down, using the Hinamizawa proverb about community. If one attacks us, 2 strike back. If 2 attack, then 4. If 4, then 8. If 1,000 come to attack, then the whole village rises up against them. That is the spirit. They may not be able to get the entire village to help, but each of the students promises to get everyone they think will help, and come back to CWS to overwhelm them and force them to save Satoko, with as many people as they can get. That's what you like to see. But that last shot of the episode is of Oishi. Is that what we like to see? Or more trouble? Personally, I think it's a sign of hope. Oishi is a cop, and it doesn't seem like he's under anyone's thumb. And he did come to the school to question about Satoko when her uncle first reappeared. Did he anticipate that the abuse would continue? He did work the case last year when Teppei's wife was killed. He would know the details about Satoko and that household. Besides, Oishi got physical with Keiichi. If he was willing to rough up a teenager, I bet he's more than willing to go to town on an abuser. Give him hell, Oishi. Swing that weight around and crush the fuck out of him. So, to sum up this episode, Satoko is going through hell, and everyone wants to help her. Shion is even willing to kill to protect her, but Keiichi, knowing better, unites the entire class with his bombastic charisma to march against child welfare services and make them step in and force Teppei out of the picture. Will they succeed? Will this, the worst timeline, be corrected? Let's fucking hope so. Okay, that's it. I want to thank everyone for watching, and I really thank those of you that have recently subscribed or left comments. It really means a lot to me. You can find periodic updates on Twitter, @ShaggyJeebus, along with random rants and preposterous puns. Tune in next week where I'll have another episode up, well, another video about another episode. And remember, row, row, fight the power.